What's going on, guys? I'm BloodyAbsol, calling Brock, and welcome back to another playthrough challenge video. A while ago, Creepy Honey suggested that I try to beat Pokemon White with just a Minccino, so that's what I'm doing today. Minccino is a base stage normal type Pokemon with pretty good options for abilities, but I'll be going for Technician since it has several moves that can use it. Speaking of moves, it mainly gets normal type moves via level up, but it has some useful coverage through TMs. Stats wise, it has pretty decent speed, but the rest of its stats are subpar. The lower attack stats are the main reason why I'll be making sure my ability is Technician, and I'll be making sure that I pick up the Eviolite. I don't want to repeat the Trapinch video. With a challenge like this, I'm expecting a fairly difficult late game with having a Ghost and a Fighting type Elite 4 member to deal with. Anyway, here are the rules. I can only use a single Minccino in battle, no in-battle items can be used for the most part, you'll see when I get there, and finally, no glitches can be used. With all that done, let's start the challenge. Things start off strong with us having a deathmatch against Chair and Bianca in our bedroom. After that, Juniper gives us a Pokedex, shows us how to function in this society, and we go to Accumulate Town. While we're there, we're listening to this guy with the green hair speech. I'm not really sure what it was about, I wasn't really listening. And we have our first encounter with N. We talk for a few seconds, but then we proceed to beat the hell out of his cat, and we do the same thing to Bianca and Sharon's Pokemon. Wow, I'm at the first gym already? I'm not even off the first page of this script. Well, I guess this video needs a little bit of fluff, so if you like Pokemon content, go follow my TikTok. I've been doing an extreme randomizer over there on Fire Red, where I'm not allowed to use fully evolved Pokemon. Shameless plug aside, we entered the first gym, and yeah, we swept with Technician Pound. Seriously, this ability is so broken early game. Next we have to go fight some grunts in the Dream Yard to keep them from stealing a Munna, watch them have a quick acid trip, and watch said grunts later steal a child's Pokemon, probably still on acid. Now, as Pokemon usually goes, it would make sense for me to help, but like, do I have to? Nah, might as well. With Charon's help, we can mollywop the grunts and pick up the Thief TM, which will be important later. Further on down the road, and a couple trainers later, we get to Nacrene City and fight N once more. His team of P-Dove, Timber, and Timpole is able to deal enough damage to get Minccino down to 4 HP, but Pound still beats them to a bloody pulp. Now that we're in the gym, we find the secret underground bunker beneath, museum. Okay, that's a little weird, but we can fight Lenora. This fight is usually pretty annoying, especially in solo runs, thanks to Herder's Intimidate and Watchog's, well, Watchogginess. But that annoyance is taken to a whole nother level, since I can't land a damn tail slap! After grinding a few more levels and another failed attempt or two, I had a plan to get past Lenora. Minccino was able to use Charm to drop Herder's attack to the point where it doesn't deal very much damage. During that time, we can use Work Up to bolster Minccino's power and easily take out Herder and Watchog. Coincidentally, right after we got the gym badge, Team Plasma got head.
What did he say?
I'm leaving that in. Slip the tongues aside, we can play hide and seek in the forest with Team Plasma and get the skull back. After that, we can admire this fantastic view, and you just know if this existed, it'd be all over the Instagrams of prep school girls. Real quick, let me transform to Usain Bolt, that way I can sprint across this bridge in a matter of seconds to arrive in Castelia City and immediately go grab the Eviolite. Once we track down Team Plasma and walk into whatever this is, we can walk to the third gym and walk into whatever this is. When we were in the gym, I fought a trainer with a Dwebble, and noticed just how little our normal type moves did to it. I know for a fact that Berg has a Dwebble of his own, so I had to go grind to get a certain move. After a while, we come back with Creepy at level 31 and Wake Up Slap. Now that we're in the battle, Minccino starts with Work Up while Whirlipede starts with Screech. This drops our defense, but Whirlipede decides to go for Screech again, but misses. This lets Minccino get up one more Work Up and demolish Berg's team subsequently. With our newly acquired Insect Badge, we can head north and grind Bianca and Charon to paste. They're not very strong. I like them, but they're not very strong. After fighting our way through the desert route, we get to Nimbasa City and buy one of the most powerful moves that we could possibly have access to. That being, Return. For those that don't know, Return has a max base damage of 102 when the Pokemon has max happiness. It's even more powerful being used by Minccino, since Minccino has Stab on it. And on top of that, it's 100% accurate, making it much better than Tail Slap, so it's definitely the best move we have in this game. With a Chinchilla that's now the equivalent to an assault rifle, we can have an uncomfortably quiet Ferris wheel bred with N and realize that he's the leader of Team Plasma. We can utterly destroy his team and move on to do the same thing to Elisa. What can I say? Return murks everything. We can then sprint across another bridge, no way this happens more than one more time, and once we get to Driftveil, we have a quick music break. Moving on. Before we go fight the gym, we need to ransack some freezers. Deep within cold storage we find... well, whatever this is. Anyway, with the story out of the way, we can finally enter the gym. As we reach the bottom, I would just like to mention this gym is so much cooler now than in the sequels. Actually in the battle now, and yeah, we just ran through his team. We're overleveled, used Work Up, and Clay has 2 Pokemon weak to a base 90 power Wake Up Slap. Seriously, these gyms have nothing on a homicidal fancy rat. With that done, we get towards Chargestone Cave and fight an army of Team Plasma Grunts. We have to battle N after all of them are out of the way, and thanks to my stubbornness of not wanting to run back to heal, we lose thanks to a lack of Wake Up Slap PP. Once we get back to him, we can steamroll and exit to Mistralton City. Before we fight the gym, we follow Skylar to Celestial Tower, and since we had to fight some trainers with Ghost-type Pokemon, I had Minccino learn Thief. We then climb the tower, ring the bell on the roof, and head to fight the next gym. Oh yeah, and this happened. Before we fight the gym, I'll give you 5 seconds to comment on what happened here. I'll wait. Anyway, if you commented that we just beat the hell out of our Swoobat on Pheasant and Swanna with Return, then congrats, you did it good. Anyway, with the Jet Badge, it has a quick talk with us outside the gym, and we head towards Twist Mountain. On our way, we have a battle with Charon, and, you guessed it, we beat the hell out of his team. As I make my way through Twist Mountain, I find this little area. What the hell's the point of it? It has no items, no trainer, nothing whatsoever. Why did they make this? After some contemplation and arriving at no solid conclusion, we arrive in Icera City. For this one time, we had to fight the gym before continuing with the story, so let's go do that. While we're inside, I noticed just how dangerous these gyms in Unova are, and with Technician Boosted Wake Up Slap, we quite literally clap all of Bryson's ice types, and we continue with the story events. As we climb up the Dragon Spiral Tower and admire all the crazy architecture here, we watch N summon Blue Eyes White Dragon in attack mode, and flies away off to the Shadow Realm. Yeah, I've never played or watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Since N took one of the legendary dragons, we had to fly off to the Desert Resort to go get the other one. The Relic Castle doesn't provide much other than the pitfalls and grunt battles, but once we reach the bottom, gets us to give some sort of speech, I didn't really listen as usual, and we head back to Nacrene City for some reason, and we get this really big marble. Yeah, I should really pay attention to the story in this game. Once we head back to Icera City, we can go east and run into Bianca again. But for once, we didn't destroy one of our rivals. In fact, we lost. She leads with Stoutland, which lowers Creepy's attack with Intimidate. Stoutland then uses Work Up and takes a Wake Up Slap. I decide to use Work Up as well to get our attack back, but Stoutland gets off a Retaliate. It gets knocked out the next turn by Return, and Samurai comes out. It gets a Crit Slash and lives a Return. It then knock out Minccino with a rain-boosted Aqua Jet. With the past few gyms being so easy, it was nice to do a play-by-play. Don't get used to it, because the next round, I just used Work Up the first turn, and Return swept through our entire team. Also, once again, we have to sprint across another bridge. Seriously, dude, this cardio is killing me. Like, what? Why so many bridges? In Opelucid City, we listen to another Plasma PSA and head to the gym. And, remember when I said don't get used to the play-by-play in this video? Yeah, I meant it. Work Up in turn one-shot both Fracture and Druddigon, but Haxorus could have done something if it didn't just use Dragon Dance, but it too fell to a Return. With our 8th gym badge, we can make our way to Victory Road. Damn it, Charon, I've been curb-stomping you this entire game, and you really want to do this again? I warned you! Now that we're actually in Victory Road now, I should elaborate on an issue I came across. It was at this point where turns began catching up in levels and becoming able to survive attacks. This led to several whiteouts along the way, but we eventually got to the Pokemon League, but not without worry. In these games, after battling the Elite Four, instead of fighting the champion, you have a back-to-back fight with N and Ghetsis. I'm not very worried about N because Wake Up Slap runs his team, but Ghetsis leads with the Cofagrigus with Toxic. Toxic is annoying alone, but since Cofagrigus has the Mummy ability, it ruins Technician. Thanks to this, I had to do a bit of thinking. After looking through Minccino's moveset, I noticed it has a super effective move that's affected by Technician and doesn't activate Mummy. Minccino learns the move Fling. It's a dark type move that doesn't make contact so it doesn't activate Mummy, and it deals damage depending on what item you're holding. If we go to this lane on Route 8, she'll give us a Heat Rock during the day. Using Fling with the Heat Rock makes the move 60 base power, but with Technician, that 60 becomes 90. This being our best option against Ghetsis, we can enter the Elite Four. I decided to just test the waters at our current level being 71, and at this point, yeah, we need to grind. Some of the battles were pretty close to being on a tipping point of me winning, so I decided to grind to level 75 to make the battles possible, but still entertaining. I should also mention that I lost the footage for Caitlin's battle, but she was by far the easiest member to take down, so it doesn't really matter. Work Up Boosted Thief runs her entire team, so we can move on. We battle Chantal, but like Ghetsis, she also loses with Cofagrigus. However, this one has Will-O-Wisp instead of Toxic. To take out Cofagrigus and still be able to handle the rest of her team, Cofagrigus needs to miss or not use Will-O-Wisp 3 turns in a row. It took several attempts, but it eventually missed 2 Will-O-Wisps and used Psychic on its last turn, while Creepy was setting up with Work Up. We can one-shot Cofagrigus with Thief, and it passes on Mummy. But by this point, it doesn't really matter. Another Thief takes Golurk down to 1 HP, but it lands an Earthquake. While it heals, Minccino can get off another workup to knock it out the next turn. After that, both Chandelure and Jellicent get one-shot by Thief. Next was Grimsley, who was pretty easy. I led with workup while his Scrafty lands a Brick Break. Thanks to the Eviolite, it does less than half, and Scrafty gets one-shot by a Wake Up Slap. Next is his Crocodile, who drops our attack back down to normal. It doesn't prevent it from getting one-shot, and once it goes down, Bisharp and Liepard follow suit, and we move on to Marshall. And this one sucked! To knock out Throw and Conkeldurr, we have to set up 2 workup slaps, no questions asked. But by doing that, Throw can get off 2 attacks, which drops Creepy's HP down to red. This is an issue thanks to Sock's Sturdy ability. This prevents Minccino from one-shotting it, and since our HP is so low, it can take us out pretty easily. There were other attempts where Throw used Bulldoze, but that drops our speed so much that Minccino can come out and deal damage with Jump Kick, which led to the same issue. This sequence of events happened for nearly 20 attempts until something weird happened. Like usual, I started with 2 workups, while Throw started with Bulldoze. So far things are the same, but then he used Stone Edge, and that alone turned the tides of this entire battle. With those 2 workups, we can one-shot Throw, Conkeldurr, and Minccino since Throw didn't drop our speed enough for it to outspeed. Finally, when Sock comes out, Return can continuously drop it down to Sturdy, and after being healed, Minccino can take out Sock, finally beating Marshall. Now that we've beaten the Elite Four, we can get to Alder just in time to see N completely end this man's career. All of a sudden, this random castle bursts from the ground, and so many more questions arise. Was this here before the League? How'd they make it rise from the ground? If it wasn't here before the League, how did no one see Team Blast vote in it? What was that random area into his mountain for? I need answers! Regardless of how any of this happened, when we enter the castle, the gym leaders show up to fight the sages, and we can press forward to find N and summon Zekrom. Since we're forcing out Zekrom, and it's automatically put to the front of our party, we have to use a bunch of items to waste turns until Zekrom faints and we can bring out Minccino. To start the battle, Reshiram misses Hyper Beam turn 1, which allows us to set up 2 workups while getting hit by another Hyper Beam. Creepy can then use Return to one-shot Reshiram, and Wake Up Slap destroys the rest of his team since they're all weak to the fighting type. But right now is where I realized I messed up. Remember that whole plan I had with the Heat Rock and Fling? Yeah, my plan was to set that up after the end fight, but I didn't know that we just got thrown into the Getsit fight immediately after. So, I was screwed. Since I didn't want to go back to fight the entire Elite Four and N again, I was shaking with save states before the Getsit fight, but I just could not for the life of me get that Cofagrigus to miss 1 Toxic. It wouldn't have mattered anyway because the rest of our moves wouldn't be strong enough to take down the rest of his team without Technician. I didn't want to restart because, well, like I just said, Elite Four, and I thought I would do all that again. But apparently, as I blacked out and got sent back to the Pokemon Center, there was this guy. Apparently, he just takes you directly back to the Getsis fight. Wish I knew that beforehand. Anyway, I taught Minccino Fling, gave it the Heat Rock, and went back for round 2. It took a while to get a run where Cofagrigus doesn't land Toxic for 2 turns, but when it happened, we can get off 2 workups while Cofagrigus used to Protect for no apparent reason. But finally, we got the linchpin attack that was Fling, and down goes Cofagrigus. After that, Getsis' team falls one by one. I Dragon falls to a Wake Up Slap, and Bouffalon follows suit. Sasmato gets decimated by Return, Bisharp as well goes down to Wake Up Slap, and Electros, his last Pokemon, feigns to Return, defeating Getsis, and beating Pokemon White with just a Minccino. So, I'll be the first to admit that the pacing of this video was probably all over the place. I'm still in the scripting phase, and I can already tell that's what's going to happen. The start of the challenge was pretty normal, with the first gym feeling reminiscent to a normal early game with a starter. The second gym was also fairly difficult, but after that, every other gym was more or less a cakewalk. Afterwards, we only had trouble near the endgame with Marshall, Getsis, and Chantal, with their annoying fighting types and Cofagrigus. I will say this, I was expecting N and Getsis to be much more of a challenge. I wasn't expecting the 2 of them to have as many fighting type weaknesses as they actually did. Regardless of how this is going to turn out, I guess the big question is, can you beat Pokemon White with a single Minccino? And the answer is, yes. Yes, you can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below what challenge you'd like to see me attempt in the future. On that note guys, I'm BloodyAbsol, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.